As the first faint glow of dawn touched the Persian Gulf, the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force launched a daring amphibious and air assault that would forever change control of the Strait of Hormuz. Their target was the strategic mountain heights overlooking the narrowest part of the strait, a rugged ridgeline that Iran had turned into a fortress bristling with long-range anti-ship missiles, heavy artillery positions, observation posts, and underground command bunkers. These heights gave Iran the ability to strike any ship passing below with deadly accuracy. The mission was to seize the entire ridgeline before sunrise, destroy the missile threat, and establish a permanent marine stronghold that would dominate the waterway. This was not a raid. This was a full-scale capture by one of the most powerful expeditionary forces in the world. At a forward operating base on the coast of Oman, the order reached the Marines at 0330 hours. Brigadier General Thomas Riley stood inside the main command tent, surrounded by his battalion commanders. A massive digital wall map glowed with every contour of the target heights, the steep eastern slope where the primary missile batteries were dug in, the central plateau housing the command bunkers, the western ridge with its artillery emplacements, and the narrow valleys that Iranian quick reaction forces used for movement. General Riley spoke with quiet intensity. "We hit them at first light. Alpha and Bravo battalions land by LCAC and AAVs on the southern beach. Charlie Battalion air assaults onto the central plateau using MV-22 Ospreys. Delta Battalion provides overwatch from the eastern flank. We take the heights before the sun clears the horizon. Speed, violence of action, and overwhelming firepower, that is how we do this." He detailed the exact landing zones, phase lines, fire support coordination, and rules of engagement. Every commander nodded sharply, committing the plan to memory as final questions were answered in crisp military language. The Marines immediately moved into high gear. In the staging areas, infantrymen packed their assault packs with extra ammunition, grenades, smoke canisters, and medical supplies. Machine gunners checked their M240B belts and spare barrels. Mortar teams broke down their 81mm tubes and distributed the heavy rounds. Anti-tank squads loaded Javelin missiles onto their shoulders while ensuring the CLU units were fully charged. Every Marine adjusted body armor, tested night vision goggles, and made sure their M27 rifles were clean and suppressor ready. The atmosphere was calm and professional. These were Marines who had drilled this exact type of rapid seizure mission countless times. On the shoreline, the amphibious assault force prepared for launch. Massive landing craft air cushion hovercraft sat ready on the well decks of amphibious ships, their giant fans already spinning up. Amphibious assault vehicles lined the beaches, tracks dug into the sand, ramps lowered. Further back, MV-22 Osprey, tiltrotor aircraft waited on the flight line with rotors folded, their powerful engines beginning to whine. Marine pilots ran final checks on navigation systems, terrain following radar, and defensive countermeasures. At 0430 hours, the order was given. The LCACs roared forward on cushions of air, racing across the dark water at over 40 knots toward the southern beach of the heights. Simultaneously, columns of AAVs splashed into the sea, their water jets pushing them forward at 8 knots while Marines sat inside, weapons ready. Above them, MV-22 Ospreys lifted off in tight formation, transitioning from helicopter to airplane mode as they gained altitude and speed for the short flight to the central plateau. The assault hit the heights like a hammer at dawn. The first LCAC slammed onto the beach, ramps dropping instantly as Marines poured out in disciplined waves, sprinting for cover and laying down suppressive fire. AAVs crawled up the sand, their 50 caliber turrets spitting controlled bursts at Iranian positions. From the sky, MV-22 Ospreys descended rapidly onto the central plateau, Marines fast roping down while door gunners provided covering fire. Within minutes, the beachhead was secure and the push up the slopes began. Alpha Battalion fought its way up the eastern ridge, destroying 2 major anti-ship missile batteries with coordinated javelin and mortar fire that sent columns of black smoke rising into the pink dawn sky. Bravo Battalion cleared the southern valleys, eliminating hidden artillery positions and cutting off escape routes. Charlie Battalion, having landed directly on the central plateau, stormed the underground command bunkers in close quarters battle, capturing the Iranian commander and his staff, before they could destroy sensitive equipment. Delta Battalion provided deadly accurate fire support from the flank, preventing any reinforcements from reaching the heights. By the time the sun fully rose over the strait, the strategic Hormuz heights were in Marine hands. American flags were planted on the highest points as combat engineers began fortifying the captured positions with sandbags, concertina wire, and heavy weapons emplacements. Howitzers were already being towed into place on the ridges, their barrels pointing toward the Iranian mainland. The port facility below was secured, allowing follow-on supplies to flow in by sea. Brigadier General Thomas Riley stood on the forward observation post, binoculars scanning the now silent ridgeline. He turned to his command sergeant major and said, "The heights are ours. The missiles are gone. From this position we control the strait. Well done, Marines." The lightning capture sent shockwaves through Tehran. Iran's most important defensive position, overlooking the world's most critical energy corridor, had fallen in less than 3 hours. Anti-ship missile launches from the coast stopped almost immediately, as Iranian forces scrambled to pull back surviving units. For the first time in many days, large convoys of oil tankers began moving safely through the strait under the protection of Marine-controlled heights and supporting naval forces. On the captured ridgeline, the Marines wasted no time. Perimeter defenses were strengthened, observation posts were manned around the clock, and continuous patrols swept every valley and ridge. Supply ships offshore began unloading additional ammunition, fuel, and construction materials as the Marines turned the heights into a permanent fortress. As the sun climbed higher, the Marines who had stormed the beaches and dropped from the sky now stood watch over the sparkling waters below. Their faces showed exhaustion mixed with the deep pride of professionals who had just accomplished a near-impossible mission. Later that afternoon, General Riley addressed the entire force over the tactical radio. "You hit the beach and took the heights at dawn. Because of your courage and skill, the Strait of Hormuz is opening once again. Tankers are sailing. The mission continues, but today belongs to the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force." Far below, the first massive supertankers glided through the strait, their decks catching the morning light as they moved freely for the first time in weeks. The strategic Hormuz heights, once Iran's strongest defensive anchor, now flew the American flag and stood as a symbol of restored freedom of navigation. The 1st Marine Expeditionary Force had delivered a decisive victory at dawn, proving once again that when American Marines strike, they strike with overwhelming power and unbreakable will. The waters of Hormuz were flowing freely again, protected by the Marines who seized the heights when the world needed them most.